Meet Alex. He's 35 years old, a senior software engineer making $150,000 a year. He has a great career, a six-figure salary. But today, he has about $2,800 sitting in his bank account. Now, meet Grace. She's 52 and works at the front desk of a local hospital. She earns about a third of what Alex makes. She has never thought of herself as good with money. She doesn't read investing books. She doesn't spend weekends watching finance videos. Today, Grace has $780,000. Same economy, same rising prices. Two completely different financial lives. Most people look at these two stories and think they already know the answer. Alex must spend too much. Grace just got lucky. But I don't think either explanation tells the full story. Hi, I'm Ben. I spend a lot of time studying personal finance, not just investing, but the small decisions that quietly shape our financial lives. For years, we've been told the answer is simple. Income matters. Investing matters. But after studying hundreds of real financial stories, I found a pattern most people overlook. The biggest difference between people who build wealth and people who don't often happens before they ever invest a dollar. The people who quietly built wealth weren't always the highest earners. They were following a system most people don't even realize it exists. In this video, I'll show you what that system is, why it works, and how one small change could completely change where your money ends up over the next 20 years. Let's start with Friday morning. Friday, Alex gets paid. He checks his bank account. For a second, it feels like a fresh start. Then his mind shifts. The mortgage is due. His credit card bill is waiting. His friends are making plans for the weekend. That vacation he's been thinking about. Maybe this month. Maybe not. He hasn't spent a single dollar yet. But most of this paycheck already feels spoken for. Grace gets paid the same day. The same amount comes into her account. But here's the difference. Before she even checks her balance, part of her paycheck is already somewhere else. She didn't spend it. She moved it before payday ever arrived. This is the moment. This is where their financial lives split. Alex sees money he can spend. Grace sees money she wants to keep. That's where everything begins to diverge. Every single one has a destination. The only real question is, who chooses it? Most people let life decide. Bills arrive. Subscriptions come out. Debt needs to be paid. Friends make weekend plans. Whatever is left after all that, that becomes your savings, if there is any. Grace reversed that equation years ago. She doesn't wait to see what's left. She decides what belongs to her future before the rest of life gets a vote. That single change doesn't sound dramatic. If I told you this one shift is the difference between retiring with $2,800 and retiring with $780,000, you might not believe me. But here's the thing. One payday won't change your life. Two won't either. 500 paychecks later? 100 raises that are redirected instead of spent? That's a completely different story. Money doesn't disappear when you change its direction. It follows the path you create for it. But a path doesn't build itself. You have to design it. And that's exactly what Grace did. She didn't rely on motivation. She didn't make a perfect decision every payday. She built a system that worked even when life got busy. So let's look at how that system works. The first step is simple. Build the path. So let's talk about how to actually build this path, because understanding the principle is one thing, actually implementing it is another. James Clear writes in Atomic Habits, "We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems." I think money works exactly the same way. Grace didn't build wealth because she made better financial decisions every single payday. She built a system that stopped her from needing to make those decisions again. That's what the money flow system really is. Not some complicated algorithm, not some advanced investment strategy. It's a few important decisions, made once, then repeated automatically for the next 20 or 30 years. Here's the first one, and it's simpler than you think. Decide where part of your paycheck will go before it arrives. This is the key moment. Before payday, not after. Start by collecting every dollar that's already yours. I mean this literally. There's money available to you right now that you're probably not claiming. Depending on where you live, this could include employer retirement matching, and this one alone can be hundreds of dollars a month, tax-advantaged accounts, government incentives, education savings programs, benefits you've never actually enrolled in. The details change based on your country, your employer, your situation. But the principle doesn't change. If it's already yours, don't leave it behind. Most people spend years searching for better investments, while ignoring money that's already been allocated to them. Fix that first. Once you've collected everything that's yours, here's the second part. Separate tomorrow's money from today's money. This is critical. Give future you a place where today's spending can't reach it. That might be a high-yield savings account earning real interest. It might be an investment account. It might be a completely separate account you've created just for long-term goals. The account itself doesn't matter. The separation is what matters. Because here's what happens. If your spending account can see every dollar you earn, it will eventually spend every dollar you earn. It's not about willpower. It's about how money works. Set this path once, automate the transfer, then let it run. That's the money flow system in its most basic form. The path is built. The money moves automatically, and you don't have to think about it again. But building the path is only the beginning, because even a good system can fail if something keeps pulling your money in the wrong direction. So the next step is protecting it. Now that you've built the path, we have to protect it. Every paycheck has something trying to pull it off course. Sometimes it's high-interest debt slowly growing. Sometimes it's a subscription you signed up for 2 years ago and forgot about. Sometimes it's spending that's become a habit. You don't even notice it anymore. Whatever it is, the result is the same. Money that could have built your future never gets the chance. Before you spend another hour looking for better investment returns, make sure you're not quietly losing the returns you already have. Warren Buffett once said, "The first rule of investing is don't lose money." That sounds like it's about the stock market, but it starts much earlier. Sometimes the smartest financial move isn't finding a higher return. It's stopping the leaks that quietly drain your paycheck every month. Think about your own money. If someone looked at your bank statements from the last 6 months, what would they say is pulling your money in the wrong direction? Most people already know the answer. They've just never built a system to fix it. So here's what you do. Look at your statements. Find the pattern. Find what's draining you. Eating out too often? Forgotten subscriptions? Impulse purchases? Identify it once, then build a barrier around it. Unfollow stores you impulse shop from. Move subscriptions to a separate card. Leave your credit card at home when you know you'll be tempted to spend. The mechanism doesn't matter. The protection does. Here's the psychological part. Most people use willpower to stop the leaks. They fight through every purchase decision. That doesn't work for most people long term. What works is removing the opportunity. You don't need more discipline. You need a system that requires less discipline. That's the difference between Alex and Grace. Grace didn't have more willpower. She had a better system. Now we're at the third and final decision. It's often overlooked, but it might be the most important. Decide today what happens when your income grows. Don't wait until the raise arrives, because the moment it hits your account, life already has plans for it. You've imagined what you'd do with it. Your lifestyle has already started upgrading in your mind. Morgan Housel writes in The Psychology of Money that real wealth is often what you don't see. It's money that stayed invested instead of being spent. The lifestyle you chose not to upgrade. The future you prioritized over the present. Grace understood this. Every time her income increased, future Grace got a little more first. Not because she was more disciplined, but because the system had already decided for her. She didn't have to think about it or negotiate with herself every time a raise came through. The system handled it. That's how ordinary paychecks become extraordinary results. Now let's go back to Alex. He made the same shift, the same 3 decisions. And here's what's important. Nothing about his life changed overnight. He didn't suddenly feel rich, but each one quietly moved him a little closer to the future he actually wanted, year after year. Raise after raise, unexpected bonus after unexpected bonus. The system stayed running, and the results compounded. So before your next payday arrives, I want you to do something. Take 30 minutes. That's all this takes. First, collect every dollar that's already yours. Go through your employer benefits. Look at what you're already entitled to. Claim it. Second, separate tomorrow's money from today's money. Open the account if you don't have one. Set up the automatic transfer. Make it happen before payday. Third, look at your last 3 months of spending. Find what's draining you. Build one barrier around it. Do those 3 things. The path is built. The system is running. Now it gets to work. Before you go, I'm genuinely curious about something. When your next paycheck arrives, who gets paid first? Is it future you? Or is it everyone else? Is it the bills, the subscriptions, the weekend plans? Or is it the person you want to become? Think about that. Because that's the answer that determines everything. If this video helped you understand how systems actually build wealth, subscribe. Every week, we explore practical ideas that help you build lasting financial security with fewer decisions and better systems. Thanks for watching.